The single biggest thing keeping you lonely isn't that people don't like you. It's that you are absolutely terrified that they won't. That gut-wrenching fear, the one that stops you from saying hello, from joining a conversation, from even making eye contact, it's the fear of rejection. It's a wall of ice that stands between you and the connection you crave, and it can feel impossible to climb. But what if I told you that you could melt that wall? In this video, we are not going to give you cheesy pickup lines or tell you to just be confident. We are going to dissect this fear, understand why it feels so powerful, and give you practical, real-world tools to dismantle it so you can finally step out of the shadow of loneliness. The problem: why rejection feels like a punch to the gut. So what is this fear really? Why does the thought of someone saying no or simply ignoring you feel so catastrophic? It's not just you being dramatic. Your brain is wired to experience social rejection as a genuine threat to your survival. Think about it from an evolutionary perspective. For our ancient ancestors, being part of a tribe was everything. It meant safety, food, and the ability to raise children. Getting kicked out of the group, being rejected, was basically a death sentence. You were alone, vulnerable to predators and starvation. Your brain developed a highly sensitive alarm system to prevent this from happening. Here's the crazy part. Neuroscientists have done studies where they put people in brain scanners and had them experience social rejection in a simple computer game. They found that social rejection activates the very same regions of the brain that light up when you experience physical pain. Let me say that again. Your brain processes the pain of a broken heart or a social snub in the same way it processes the pain of a broken leg. So, when you're standing at the edge of a room wanting to talk to someone and your heart starts pounding, your palms get sweaty, and your stomach does flips, that's your ancient survival system screaming, "Danger! You might die." It's not logical in our modern world, but the feeling is incredibly real and powerful. This creates a brutal catch-22. You feel lonely, which is your brain telling you that you need to connect. But the moment you try to connect, your fear of rejection kicks in, telling you that connecting is dangerous. You're trapped between the pain of loneliness and the terror of rejection. It's a prison built to fear, and it can feel like there's no way out. But there is. You just need the right keys to unlock the door. The keys to the kingdom. How to actually overcome the fear. Overcoming this fear isn't about becoming a fearless robot who doesn't care about anything. It's about changing your relationship with fear and rejection. It's about learning to walk alongside the fear instead of letting it paralyze you. Here's how you do it. Reframe rejection. It's not about you, it's about fit. Right now, you probably see rejection as a verdict on your worth. If someone doesn't want to be your friend, your brain translates that to, "I am not good enough." This is the single most destructive belief you can have, and it's completely wrong. We need to reframe this. Think of it like trying on shoes. You walk into a shoe store, you see a pair you like, and you try them on, but they pinch your toes. They don't fit right. Do you stand there and think, "There is something fundamentally wrong with my feet. My feet are unworthy"? Of course not. Do you get angry at the shoe and think, "This is a terrible, worthless shoe"? No, you just recognize that it's not the right fit. You put the shoe back and try on another pair. Social connection is exactly the same. When you meet someone, you're both just seeing if you're a good fit. It's about compatibility. Maybe you love quiet nights in and they love loud parties. It's about timing. Maybe they just went through a breakup and don't have the emotional energy for a new friendship. It's about their own stuff. Maybe they're shy or anxious or just having a really bad day. 99% of the time, when someone doesn't seem open to connecting, it has absolutely nothing to do with your inherent worth as a person. It's just not the right fit at that moment. Once you can truly start to believe this, rejection loses its power. It stops being a verdict and starts just being information. Okay, not a fit. Let me try on another pair of shoes. 2. Lower the stakes. Build your social muscle in the minor leagues. If you haven't worked out in years, you don't walk into the gym and try to lift 300 pounds. You'd hurt yourself. You start with the small weights to build your strength. Socializing is the same. If you're terrified of rejection, don't make your first attempt a high-stakes situation like asking someone out on a date or trying to join a tight-knit group of friends. You need to build your social muscle in the minor leagues, where the stakes are incredibly low. This is about having small, positive, and brief interactions that have no goal other than the interaction itself. The coffee shop warm-up. When you order your coffee, make eye contact with the barista, smile, and say, "Thank you. Have a great day." That's it. That's a successful social rep. The grocery store challenge. When you're checking out, ask the cashier a simple low-pressure question like, "Has it been busy in here today?" The dog park mission. If you see someone with a dog, say, "Your dog is beautiful. What kind is he?" People love talking about their pets. These tiny interactions do two crucial things. First, they show your nervous system that talking to a stranger doesn't actually result in death. It recalibrates that ancient alarm system. Second, they are almost impossible to fail. The person might give a short answer, but they are very unlikely to reject you outright. You get to walk away with a small feeling of success, which builds your confidence to try something with slightly higher stakes next time. 3. Detach your worth from the outcome. The goal is to be brave. This is a huge mental shift. Right now, when you think about approaching someone, you define success as they like me and we become friends. You define failure as they reject me. We need to completely change that definition. From now on, success is not getting a yes. Success is being brave enough to try. That's it. If you walk up to someone and say hello, you have already won. The outcome is irrelevant to your success. Whether they respond warmly or turn their back on you, you still get to walk away and say to yourself, "I did it. I was scared and I did it anyway." By making the attempt itself the victory, you take all the power away from the other person. Your success is no longer dependent on their reaction. It is 100% within your control. This is how you build real, unshakable self-esteem. It's not built on the approval of others. It's built on your own courage. 4. Become a social scientist. Get curious, not anxious. Another way to take the pressure off is to stop thinking of yourself as someone auditioning for the role of friend and start thinking of yourself as a scientist conducting an experiment. Your goal is not to get a specific result, approval. Your goal is to gather data. Before you enter a social situation, ask yourself a curious question. I wonder what will happen if I ask that person reading a book what they think of it so far. I wonder what will happen if I give a genuine compliment to that person with the cool jacket. I wonder what will happen if I join that group conversation and just listen for a few minutes before saying anything. See the shift? You're not going in with the desperate need for them to like you. You're going in with a sense of curiosity. Whatever happens next, whether they engage or disengage, is not a rejection of you. It's just data. Oh, interesting. That person was really open to talking about their book. Or, okay, data point. That group was really hard to break into. It removes the emotional charge and makes the whole process feel lighter and more playful. 5. Have an after-action plan. Your rejection first aid kit. No matter how much you reframe and prepare, rejection is still going to happen sometimes, and it's still going to sting. That's okay. The key is not to avoid the sting, but to know how to treat it so it doesn't get infected and make you retreat back into your shell. You need a rejection first aid kit. It's a simple 3-step process. Acknowledge the ouch. Don't pretend it didn't hurt. Give yourself a moment to say, wow, okay, that stung. Ignoring the pain just makes it louder. Practice self-compassion. This is where you talk to yourself like you would talk to a good friend. You would never tell a friend, see, you're a worthless loser. You'd say something like, hey, that was really tough. It's okay to feel sad about that. Offer yourself that same kindness. Put a hand on your heart and say, that was hard, and it's okay that it hurts. Applaud the effort. This is the most important step. Immediately after acknowledging the pain, you must give yourself credit for your bravery. Say, but you know what? I'm so proud of myself for trying. That took guts. This reinforces the new definition of success. The victory was in the attempt, not the outcome.
The climax, the real prison. You might spend years of your life carefully arranging your world to avoid rejection. You turn down invitations. You keep your headphones on in public. You stay home on a Saturday night, telling yourself it's easier this way. You are living in a prison, and you think the walls are made of other people's potential rejection. But here's the key, the absolute turning point. The walls of your prison are not made of rejection. The walls are made of the fear of rejection. By staying inside your safe zone to avoid the possibility of a no, you are guaranteeing the certainty of loneliness. You are choosing the definite pain of isolation to avoid the potential pain of a social misstep. You are rejecting yourself before anyone else even has the chance. The moment you understand this, everything changes. You realize that true freedom isn't a world where no one ever rejects you. That world doesn't exist. True freedom is getting to a place where the possibility of rejection doesn't stop you from trying. It's walking up to the door of connection, knowing it might be locked, but trying the handle anyway, because the alternative is to never leave your cell. The real win isn't getting the door to open every time. The win is realizing you hold the key to your own prison, and the key is courage. The fear of rejection is a powerful and primal force, hardwired into our brains to keep us safe. But in our modern world, this ancient programming often keeps us trapped in a cycle of loneliness. The way out is not to become fearless, but to become brave. It's about reframing rejection as a matter of fit, not a judgment of your worth. It's about starting small, detaching your success from the outcome and getting curious instead of anxious. And when rejection does happen, it's about treating yourself with kindness and applauding your own courage. You don't have to let the fear of what might happen stop you from finding the connection you deserve. You can learn to walk with the fear, and in doing so, walk right out of the prison of loneliness. If this helped you feel even a little bit braver today, subscribe to RainWish and give this video a like and share it with your friends. Until next time, goodbye.